Thank you very much, Jabu, and Assalamu alaikum to everyone. Yes, as Jabu mentioned, that is the short bio of who Fanta Danso is. And today I'll be moderating this platform. So as the agenda portray, we have our guest speakers here. We have Malick and also so I'll try to be a bit gender balanced by not giving my attention to the lady, which of course I may do, but permit me if I do. So I will start with Fatou. Fatou's biography. I must say this, like, I am impressed with what we have in this country. It's like, these are young people that studied in the Gambia and they are making it in the Gambia. So Fatou is a software engineer. This is an area that is so gender sensitive because as far as I know of more men than women in this category, but she was able to pull it through and she's doing wonders. And she graduated from the University of the Gambia. That makes it so close to home. So Fatou will welcome you. I will run through to Malick, who also graduated from the University of the Gambia, and a treasurer with over 10 years banking experience. Amazing. So, but I'll allow you people to do your own introductions yourself, because it always says that it is better to come out from the person themselves. I may not do justice when I want to talk about your achievements or the things that you are into. So I'll start with Fatou. Fatou, good afternoon and welcome once again.
Thank you. Good afternoon to you all. Good afternoon, Fanta. Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm so honored to join your platform. Hello.
Thank you very much, Aji. Can you please give us a quick biography of who Aji is?
Well, Fatou is a software engineer. I studied computer science at the University of the Gambia. I graduated in 2014. And then from there, I joined Standard Chartered Bank for internship in 2014 to 2015. Then I moved to Preston Consulting, where I started as junior software developer. From there, I was moved to their branch, to their other location in Senegal, Volo Africa, where I was promoted to a senior developer. Then I worked with Preston and Volo from 2015 to 2017, yeah. Then from there, I quit and started my own freelancing software development, building applications for my own from scratch, and then having clients also, starting my small business until I met Serenade Africa. Serenade is a company in America that deals with e-form management. So they open a branch in the Gambia and want me to oversee the branch. So yeah, that's where I am currently, doing Serenade's job, being a software developer and recruiting many UTG students right now there. We have about 6 staffs that I recruited from UTG, because I'm the one training them from software development and how to manage Serenade's e-form management. The e-form management, to give an example, is just like the US Embassy's visa application form that we developed. We developed it in our office here in the Gambia from scratch, and then deploy it to the Serenade servers in the United States. So, in a nutshell, this is me. I'm a software developer. I code in different languages, and then I'm a Gambian, married with kids as well. That's a brief bio from my side.
Fatou, I am impressed. You're not only a software developer, you are a mother as well, and you're also training the young ones. Thank you very much. We are more than pleasure to have you here. Malick, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Fanta, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for having me here. My name is Malick. I am also a Gambian. I studied from the University of the Gambia. I studied economics and computer science. I started my banking career in the Gambia as a system administrator. So I rose through the ranks, and now I'm a treasury specialist here in Nigeria. I'm also a data and crypto enthusiast. I help people learn about digital assets and all that. And yeah, I'm here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Malick. And I would like to say something, but I'll keep it later. I'll go straight into the program, which is our topic today, the role of finance professionals in the fintech space. Fintech, which is financial technology. This is something that we have been hearing. It's like a burning issue currently in the country. Everybody talks about it, the ones that know about it and the ones that will have a little clue about it. But today we are fortunate to have two young people that understands and that are here to educate us. And I will want to ask a question, but this question will go to both of you because like you are into different fields. I understand, Malick, you have a banking experience over 10 years. So your understanding of fintech in the banking space may be different from Fatou's understanding of fintech in her own space. So this is a question that both of you would want to say something about. So like when we say fintech, what do we understand from fintech? What do you want to say to people? Like, how do we embrace fintech? That would be the first thing that I want you to share with us.
Are we doing ladies first or?
Yes, ladies first. Thank you. Fatou, please do us the honor.
All right. Thank you. I'm good with that. All right. When we say fintech in our fintech, it is abbreviated. Actually, it means financial technology. It is broad and it has different meaning when it comes to the technology part. But just to keep it short, we will describe it as the evolution of an industry where new technology use cases are developed. Sorry, I have to keep distracting me.
Sorry, I would like to ask for a favor. Do you mind turning on your camera so that we can see the smart?
All right, no problem. That's fine. Okay. All right. Okay. Sorry, I have my kid who was opening the door and distracting me a bit. All right then. So in the technology part, financial technology, we just describe it as the evolution of an industry where new technologies use cases are developed and deployed to streamline more traditional looking finance functions. So for example, the fintech technologies that are developed in our sites, like you require less time compared to going to the bank and other stuff. So it is easily accessible because everything is digitalized when it comes to fintech. So in our own space nowadays, both financial services providers and their clients are accustomed with fintech solutions to such an extent that it feels like they have always been around. The traditional brick and mortar branches have been successfully replaced by banking apps that are easily accessible through smartphones. For example, in the Gambia here today, most of us here, we prefer using our smartphones to do internet banking rather than going to the bank. And to people like me, I feel so lazy because I take it as time consuming to go to the bank to do certain transactions. So I rather sit at my home, to use my mobile phone, connect to the internet, and do certain transactions. So in a nutshell, well, this is my understanding on fintech based on the technology base.
Thank you very much, Fatou. Malick, would like to hear from you too.
Okay, I think Agi has summed it all. So fintech is basically the use of technology to offer financial solutions, right? Let's go back maybe 10 years, 15 years back. We've never thought of having to sit at our homes and do financial transactions, having to use mobile apps to do our banking, paying somebody online, receiving funds online. We've never thought of it. So fintech actually comes in and improve on the efficiency of banking, right? And they also offer more products to especially retail investors like you and I. Now, in the fintech space, we've seen, according to Africa Startup, we have about 577 fintechs in Africa, right? I know in Gambia, we are actually a bit lagging behind, but I would say we have some fintechs in Gambia, right? Because we have the likes of mobile money operators in the Gambia, right? Where you will use your mobile phone to do financial transactions. So fintech basically is just the use of technology to offer financial solutions in a smarter way, in a more efficient and smarter way.
Okay, Pamali, thank you for the intro, and Ajifatu as well. But also, I would like to know, how does this fintechs work? How do they work?
Yeah, from us here, in technology, fintech, well, it use different technology. We use different technologies to create a fintech application, like the use of artificial intelligences, blockchain, and machine learning. These are some of the new technologies that shape fintech and that have the potential to bring even more benefits to both financial institutions and consumers as well. And as more and more banks and financial establishments go digital, well, make no mistake that fintech and the technologies that go with it will be playing a significant role in the future of the finance world as well. So in a nutshell, fintech also, the way it works is very vital that it goes with certain technologies as well. These technologies are they are the membrane they are the concrete to the wall of this technology. So without it, it is not, well, it will not be efficient like it is, and it will not be secured, and the security will be jeopardized for it to be used. So these are the things that are that blocks it, like from the hackers and cyber and other cyber securities that are not, well, that can jeopardize the system. So in a nutshell, it works using certain technologies in my area, which is AI, ML, and blockchain, and other technologies also that help in the automation of the process as well. Because the fintech application, if you can see, everything is automated. So for that automation to occur, a lot of things happen in the background. So this can be these are some engineering that is conducted at the background as well.
Interesting. I can say that, like, we have not gone far, but we're learning a lot. Malick, do you have something to add on to that?
I would say that fintech actually works by offering financial solutions using technology. So I'll give practical examples. Like here in Nigeria, we have some fintechs that offer similar services to banking, to banks, right? You can actually open what they call a wallet, which you can view as, let's say, an account, right? So you can open an account at the comfort of your house within 5 minutes. Like, just log into your mobile, go to the fintech platform. So fintech is like a company, a financial company that heavily uses technology to offer financial solutions, like we said earlier. So you just sit at the comfort of your home, open an account, fund your account, and pay anybody you want to pay online at the comfort of your house. So that's basically how it works. So they just offer financial solutions, like I said, in a smarter way and a more efficient way. And the example I gave, like I said, you can open a bank account. I saw some, I'll call them neobanks. They're not like the traditional banks that we're used to, but these banks, some of them don't even have like physical presence where you walk into the branch and speak to somebody. Everything is digitized. You download their app, they ask you for certain documentation, which of course you require for KYC, that's to know your customer. And then you can upload all those documents on the platform without going anywhere. And that's at the comfort of that's at your own convenience. So you open an account, you do all your financial transactions, and you can do a lot more. And like I just said, we are seeing the advent of blockchain technology, right? If you're used to the traditional financial system, we know when you're sending and receiving money, like overseas, you actually use a network called SWIFT, right? So SWIFT actually helps, sending and receiving money overseas. Now with blockchain and with SWIFT, remember you need like corresponding banks. If you look at some of our local banks in Gambia, they need corresponding banks to actually help them do some of the overseas remittances, right? But with the advent of blockchain technology, you don't need you don't need a corresponding bank, right? The blockchain is actually a decentralized technology. I'm sure we'll get into that, and Agi can take us more on the blockchain, on how it works. But basically, it's a technology that helps people move money around the world without going through banks. So these are some of the ways and some of the technologies that are available out there where people are utilizing it to actually build startups, fintech startups.
Malick, this is getting interesting, and I'm also getting scared as well. Why do I say I'm getting scared? I'll first ask, like, how are these fintechs different from banks? Because that question will lead me to, are these fintechs here to steal my job? Because the way you are saying this is like, there is no more job for we bankers, because fintech is just everything. They're trying to do everything for us. So, like, how are they different from banks?
Well, I think one of the major differences is the use of technology. With the traditional banks, we realize they do not really heavily invest in technology, right? So many things are a bit manual in terms of reconciliations, in terms of processing, is a bit manual. But fintechs is, on another level. They automate almost all of their processes. In terms of reconciliations, the computer will do everything for you. In terms of processing your transactions, processing a transaction on a fintech platform can take, let's say, seconds or minutes, and it's done. Whilst, let's say, in the traditional banking system, when you want to do a financial transaction, it can take 2 to 3 business days, like some of the terminologies we would use in the banking sector. When you're sending money, we'll tell you, oh, maybe it will get here 2 to 3 business days. It's a bit slow. So those are some of the differences that we're seeing. But basically, they offer financial services, right? This fintech is offering financial service in a smarter and efficient way, whilst the traditional banking is actually offering financial services, but at a slower pace and more manual compared to the fintech.
Okay, will you want to address the second question before I move to?
So in terms of you being scared that fintech is going to take over your job, well, I'll say this. The hard truth is you need to upskill. You don't need to stay back and just, like the term we say, we're always used to doing it this way. So that should not be the case. If you stay or you have that mentality of saying, oh, this is how I used to do it, you become irrelevant in society, you become obsolete. For example, we look at the mobile technology, right? I know many of us have used Nokia 3310, right? And I'm sure if we are to give you an option, take a Nokia 3310 or an iPhone 14, you would definitely throw away that Nokia 3310.
Definitely iPhone 14 from me.
Because the Nokia didn't really upgrade and didn't adapt to emerging technology. So likewise, finance is actually evolving. Right? You have these fintechs using technology to offer financial solutions. So you need to learn about these technologies, right? You need to know how to operate these technologies. Imagine we give you a mobile phone and ask you to do a financial transaction and you can't, and you are a finance professional. Your service will become irrelevant in whichever company that you're working, because once they have the likes of Fatou to come and build a system that will do your job. Let's say you're a reconciliation officer. Your job is just to reconcile, transactions. And then the likes of Fatou comes in and build a system that does your job. As the CEO, I would just say Fanta is really no longer relevant. I'm just paying her salary, but her job is done by the system Fatou has actually built. But if Fanta goes and learn, let's say, how to use this technology, how to actually even build that, because I would say the best software developer is somebody who understands what he or she is building. Let's say you have a finance background and you want to build, let's say, a QuickBook. You know some of the processes that you do in your daily activities. So automating those processes actually makes you a better programmer, I would say. So it's just for the finance professional to take cognizance that, look, technology is evolving, finance is evolving. I also need to evolve and adapt to the emerging technology so that I will stay relevant and, keep earning that money.
The take home for me is I will stay relevant. So I will not allow the upcoming Power BI to take my job, because my job is more of a financial performance analyst. And the way Power BIs are coming with this skillful presentations of slides, at the end of the day, my boss will be like, I don't need Fanta here. Let me just get a Power BI software built by Fatou, and the Power BI will do all the EcoBank performance analysis at the end of every quarter by annually or biannually. And like you said, I would also try to skill myself and stay relevant in EcoBank. Fatou, can you kindly add something to that too from your own space?
Yes. Actually, the difference between fintech and banks, well, as Malick already highlighted, from my own personal view, the time that it saves really makes me want to go for it always, because the time that I used to queue on banks to do certain transactions, and then and now that I have my smartphone, I can sit where I am without not driving with this rough traffic, going all the way to the bank, queuing, finding hundreds of people in the queue, doing a particular transaction. So that time, only that precious time that it saves me already, always want me to invest or go more for fintech. And also, as I always said the last time, the digital cash transfer, that it makes very convenient and very fast and reliable. And then compared to banks, for example, sometimes, in fact, here in the Gambia, since the technology, the speed of the technology is still lacking behind the way we do things in our banks, certain banks as well. Sometimes if you want to do a transfer to someone's account, they still haven't adapted the system of doing an instant transfer. So it will take 2 to 3 working days for that transfer to be processed. So with this technology being integrated, like, you don't have to wait for that. So you just have to take your phone and do your certain things and move on with anything or any other things that you want to do with it. So that alone really is very, 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 very important compared to banks. We'll come to a generation or a period where, in fact, the banks will be, well, they will be there, but their activities will be very, very, very minimal. Like, I'm not saying that your jobs will be taken away from you, but your jobs will be there, because of course these two have to go together. At least someone should be there to monitor some certain transactions, or to be there to collect some checks or anything. But with the current fintech, as the checks and check deposits and everything will be just scanned from your phone and uploaded to the system, and everything will be there. So I will not say that your job will be jeopardized with the fintech being taking over in the banking industries.
So comforting then to hear that.
Yes, because at least there must be something that you will do. It will minimize time and automate most of your jobs. This is good for you, because some jobs are so tiring, right? To reconcile an account is so tiring that you don't if you have a system that automates it, well, it's a boom for you. So you're always eager to go for that. So
and also just to add, Fanta, you are a data analyst, right?
Yes, I am.
Previously, the systems that you used to analyze data was purely maybe Excel, right? But now we have the advent of Power BI that helps you do visualization, do so many analysis. And see, data is evolving. Maybe the data you're getting from the bank, maybe it's just some few thousand records. Imagine you have a million record or some data structure that is even way beyond just Excel capturing it. So you need to adapt to using technologies that will help you actually analyze data, not just numbers, but even pictures, right? Analyze pictures and say, oh, this picture actually, I can gather so many pictures and do analysis, sentimental analysis, and other analysis that you want to do to help drive, your business. So just coming back to the point that you need to adapt to changing technology. Maybe you're used to Excel. Now you've heard about Power BI. Just Google it up, right? And see, most of these technologies are free. Like I always tell my colleagues, look, now legi damana is a purjanga, right? Because everything is out there so free on the internet. You go on YouTube, you see a whole lecture on, let's say, Power BI, step by step how to do it. You practice, you become, a pro. And most of the things I learned on the internet, right? I did computer science, but to be honest, most of the skills I've acquired, I've learned via YouTube and other channels.
Interesting that some of us will be sitting down bragging about our little Excel skills of the X lookups, the V lookups, and how we maneuver around it, telling others that, my data is like more than 1,000, it's a 10,000 data, but with a H final replace, I can do this, not knowing that we will be facing with data that are millions and that our Excel will not be able to capture. So yes, it will be a take home for some of us to really uplift our skills in terms of the coming in of the fintech. So like all of us has talked about how fintechs will make life easy for us, the bankers, in terms of the things we do, like freeing us from the 3 days clearing and the 24-hour swift transaction, because we'll have instant transactions that will be done. But also you may also want to think about the security aspect of this, because once data is online there and outside there with muggles around, people that are very good with it, people that are very skillful. So how do we secure our data? How do we do that? Fatou, I think you may want to speak to this as a programmer. So how do we secure our data?
When it comes to fintech applications, every country has their own data protection regulations. So as a programmer, when you are developing a fintech app, you must follow like the KYC practices and regulation data protection that is in that country. I think different countries do it differently. So maybe here for us in the Gambia, we must follow the KYC. And then when developing an application, you must use a data encryption, like especially a financial application. The data encryption refers to encoding information into a code that requires special keys to decipher it into a readable format. So the data encryption, at least, is a blockage. If a hacker want to do something, if the data is encrypted, at least they must have a key to decrypt the data before using it. So we will not stop only on that. So because as I always say, I don't joke with financial application because they are always at risk. People try different methods in hacking it. So data encryption is one of the important steps that I first take. After doing the KYC, we do the data encryptions, and then we use different data encryptions as well. Different algorithms to encrypt our data, which is the RSA. The RSA is a secure asymmetric algorithm with public and private encryption key. And we use two-fish as well. Two-fish is also very good for encrypting because it has 128-bit blocks. And the triple Ds as well, that is the ones that we use on our credit cards. So most of these financial applications, we use these triple Ds to encrypt it because it has it ciphers each algorithm 3 times. It ciphers each of them 3 times so that it cannot be easily decrypted or hacked by any well, hackers or products out there. So we also use secure application logins. That is we enforce a strict password to the application so that it can't be easily navigated just like that without permission. And also we enable also one-time password. That is, if you want to have a very, very, very secure financial application, we introduce OTPs as well. OTPs and password change mandatories, that we make it mandatory, and we have a short login session. Like most of the applications that I developed, because I learned that from Senegal when I was developing an application for a company, Wari. So we make sure that every 20 seconds, if the application is not active, let it log out. So the session ends, so nobody can access it. So things like that, when developing a financial application, it makes it very, very easy, and people cannot just tamper with it anytime, because sometimes the fraudulence can even be your own co-workers. If your application is open without not being timed out and you went to another desk, someone can just easily use it and manipulate with the system without you not knowing. So that's why we make it every 20 seconds or every 10 seconds, depending on what the institution wants. So we lock you out. So this one also can be used in the data security as well. And also, testing also is very vital, because every application that you developed, especially when as long as it involves finance, it's a risk. So which means it can be jeopardized by anybody or anyone who has access to it, or who has the link to break it through. So we enforce testing as well. Fintech software requires a thorough testing throughout the development cycle as well. So we build a professional security testing team, and then we run penetration testing. We perform an IT security audit as well, just to make sure that the system is really ready to go out there, because nowadays with technology, people are advancing. Anything that you put on the table, they will have a way around it, or they can walk through it to manipulate or do whatever they want with the system. But with these data encryptions and security measures taken, at least if you try one, you try the next one, or you try the other one, you will take a break and say, well, this one is totally encrypted, so I cannot do anything with the system because I don't know the next method or the next measure that they implemented to secure their data. So the security with these approaches definitely is very, very secure to go for it.
Wow, Ajifat, you were almost speaking Swahili to me. I don't know of others until when you said OTP, and I know that, oh, finally she has said something that I know of. So I understood, like when you want to do mobile apps or online registrations, an OTP will be sent to your registered telephone number for you to do I think it's validation or authentication.
Yes.
For authentication.
Yes.
Yes, we are glad that there are security parameters that are deployed so that they can save our customer informations. I know we have been speaking more about bank and banking terminologies, but we also understand that we have financial specialists in other industries, especially in the insurance segment. We have fintech also playing a vital role in that fraternity as well. So I would also like for us to discuss about how fintechs are changing the traditional financing operations, be it in the banking fraternity or other fraternities.
Okay, before I even answer that, I want to actually add to the security aspect that you asked, how to secure your data, right? I know Aji has given a technical detail on how to secure, but as a front end user, right? First, you need to understand your data, right? Is your data public data, or is it confidential or private data, right? If it is public data, then you don't care, right? You can just leave it anywhere. You can unlock your system if it is public data that is in that system. But if it is private data, like your date of birth, your mobile number, your credit card, or even your debit card, Visa cards, because I know some time back in Gambia, a colleague of mine was just playing with his debit card. And I looked at the debit card. I said, do you know if I just have these details on your card, I can go and withdraw money in your account? He said, even without my PIN? I said, yes, even without your PIN. As long as I have your card number, your expiry date, and your CVV2, right? That's the 3-digit code at the back of the card. You can do online transactions. They can withdraw your account. And it happens. Like we in the banking industry have seen such occasions happen whereby a customer lost money because maybe somebody got access to his or her debit card and started withdrawing his or her money, right? So you need to know what is private data and public data. And secondly, with fintech actually rising, I know in Nigeria, you can use your mobile number to open an account, right? So imagine if you have those kind of fintechs in Gambia, and then you can open an account with your mobile number. If you do not secure your mobile number, or there's no strict rule in terms of SIM card replacement, somebody can just walk into AfriCell and say, I want to replace this number. And if they don't have a strict policy, they will just replace your number. And then that person can use your number and go and reset all your, nowadays banks have what they call USSD, right? So these USSD, you can do banking transactions with your mobile phone. So if somebody reset or change your SIM card and then reset all your parameters, because they have your SIM card now, they can just tell the bank, oh, I've lost my password, please send me OTP. So the OTP will come to the SIM card that he has replaced. And they can use that OTP and change your passwords, change whatever they want to change, and have access to your financial accounts and start withdrawing your money. So those are some of the things I would like to highlight here. That look, these are, you need to understand what is public and confidential data, because people use your confidential data to reset your passports. People use your confidential data to have access to some of your accounts, even your email accounts, right? When you're resetting your email, it will ask you your date of birth, maybe some security questions, and then they can reset your account. So just to add on to how you can secure your data, first just identify what data it is and ensure, like Fatou said, we have all these 2-factor authenticators now where you can download the Google Authenticator on your mobile phone and then lock your applications using 2-factor authentication, whereby when you log in, it will ask you another level of security. It will ask you to confirm your mobile number or send an OTP to your mobile number, which you can use to access to that system. And most of these fintech companies actually uses those technologies, whereby it will ask for an OTP to grant you access to your account. So just to add on that.
All right, thank you very much. And you have reminded me of some of the frustrations that I encountered during my days as customer service officers, where customers will come with complaints of, you banks, you're cheating me, you always debit from my account, like always money will be taken from my account. I don't know how it happens. But some of the things that we forget to take into considerations are the negligences we do with our passwords or with our cards, because you will see someone will tell another person, this is my password, Balamanga withdraw from the ATM. Like you feel you're a bit lazy to stand up to go to that ATM machine. So your sister can do it for you, your brother can do it for you. Forgetting that we have brothers and sisters that are on a different level from where we used to be when we were young. She would just use your PIN and your everything to go and pay for a video game. And at the end of the day, you will just be hearing alerts up and down that your account has been debited for this. And like, mind you, you don't even know what is going on, but you forgot that there was a day you gave her your card and she has access to everything. So like, thank you very much for that security measures and the things that we should be very careful of. The card may look like something that is not of any importance, but it has a lot of importance on it. Because the face and those three, especially those 3 pins at the back, they can go a long way, because without that, you cannot like conclude a transaction. But once you have that, you can conclude a transaction and you can make payments online. You can even move money. So these are things that I think everybody on this call and like should adhere to. So that will move us to our next question, which is like, I think you even dealt a bit about it, like how the financial professionals can leverage on the this imagining technology? Like, how do we leverage on this? What is beneficial to us on this?
Okay, so I think I've touched on that. I said you because you want to stay relevant, and the job that you're doing is evolving, technology is evolving, is doing it better and smarter. You need to evolve and learn how that technology really works. So maybe you will not do the manual job again, but you would learn how to operate that technology to do that automation bit, right? For example, if you mentioned Power BI. So if you can use Power BI, you may not do all those sorting, all those filtering, trying to design a nice dashboard. Power BI, you just model it once, and all you need to do is just refresh your data, and all your models or all your dashboard actually updates. So just learn how to adapt to these new technologies. Don't just turn a blind eye to it. Like something has come up, maybe go and subscribe to some of these tech sites like Microsoft and all those tech sites. When they have new releases, you can just, even if you're lazy to read through a long script, just go to YouTube and type the name of the technology, and you will see shorter videos, like 5 minutes, and then it would summarize what it does. And if you're really interested, you go for longer videos and learn about it, but always keep abreast of emerging technologies.
Fatou, do you want to add on to something, or we can proceed?
Well, yeah, you can proceed because Malick has already highlighted most of the things that I wanted to talk about.
All right, thank you very much. Malick, kindly stay with me. I also want you to elaborate on how does a fintech change the traditional financial system? Like, how do they change it? Because I know traditionally we have, let's say, one way, a go-to way that we all use to do the things that we're used to doing, like the way we say it, our traditional way of highlighting, our traditional way of doing things. But with now the fintechs with us, like, how does it change it? Do we have any disruptions?
Yes, so I just pick on how we move money, right? Before, with the traditional banks, right? You need to go and apply, go and do some KYC perhaps, and then wait for 2 to 3 days to get your money moved from one destination to the other. Now with fintechs, right? And especially with the advent of these digital currencies, you can go to an exchange, and move money around the world, right? You don't, some of these exchanges don't even ask for KYC, all this KYC that we do, asking you for your ID, even ask you how you make your money. So many questions. I know some customers sometimes are even frustrated with some of these questions on KYC, right? But fintech kind of simplifies some of those things now. So they would actually use technology. For example, let's say they know that your mobile number has KYC, because when you're opening, or when you're buying a SIM card, you need an ID and all that. So it means the telecom company is actually doing KYC. So fintechs, especially let's say in Nigeria, they leverage on that and say, okay, since the mobile technology has already done the KYC, all I would require is your mobile number, maybe, and your ID card, and that's all. So they won't ask you, or they may not even ask you for your ID card, because they know you use an ID card to actually open that mobile number. But they will still ask, just to summarize the KYC aspect. And also another difference is with fintechs, they are offering more financial products, like wealth products, especially to retail investors like you and I. If you look at our traditional banking system, the things that we offer are fixed deposits, right? Savings, current account, maybe T-bills and bonds, right? But with fintech, right, some of these guys, they're even offering you stocks, let's say Apple stock, and they're offering you digital assets like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the likes. And these are actually trending globally because people are making money in these assets. So let's say you're in Gambia, and the only investment you can do perhaps maybe is fixed deposit or T-bills, and maybe the returns are not really attractive. And you have a fintech company that comes and start offering you digital assets, or start offering you, other wealth products like Microsoft, Apple shares, Tesla shares, all these shares, and you can invest in them and get returns. Over time, it's going to disrupt the functions of many banks, because I would rather go to that fintech, right, and then invest my money with them than, let's say, go and buy a lower return fixed income instrument from traditional banks.
Yes, I'll agree to that, because nowadays our T-bills rates are close to nothing. So you will have your money parked somewhere, someone is utilizing it with low yields. Like you don't even have anything there. It's better for you to give your money to one cousin and the person gives you $1,000 for your need at that spot than to keep that money there. But like Gambia, sadly, we have not gotten into some of those like the cryptos, the Bitcoins. Those are things that are a bit new to us for now. We are not doing them. So I think we're not utilizing most of this fintech assets for now, but it's important that you shared with us. So some of us that don't want to restrict ourselves to Gambia alone can start thinking beyond Gambia and what the globe has for us, and we can start enjoying them. But like we have spoke about a lot of things when it comes to fintechs, a lot of advantages, but we cannot shy away from the pro cons. We know there are a lot of things that also may go bad. So if you will want to highlight some of the disadvantages of this fintechs.
Okay, maybe I'll allow Aji. Aji, you want to say something to this?
Yes, please. Aji Fatou, ladies first.
Come again, what's the question again? I was a little bit distracted.
I understand. The kids are like, yeah, boy, like.
I know, eh?
Easy to be a mom. So, like, well done. The way you are just juggling around this whole thing, mommy, specialist, here you are educating us. Like, we're hailing you, ma. Like, Annette, I think Malick will understand that when the Nigerian says, we hail you,
Hey,
you understand. So maybe Malick, you may want to lead it. I guess Aji Fatou is trying to settle down with the kids, and when she comes back, she will also give us her.
No, I'm here. I'm back.
Over here. Okay, so we want to talk about the disadvantages of fintechs.
Well, you know, in every application or every scenario, there must be a disadvantage, but the disadvantage will not be much per se, because like if the fintech, like in any fintech application or anything that is handled properly and undergo through the necessary precautions and steps for it to operate, well, the disadvantages will not be that very much. The disadvantages, I will going to base it in the Gambia here. For example, for us in the Gambia, if we were to to use fintechs 100% on our day-to-day basis, maybe our first challenges will be internet connection, because without internet connection, you cannot do most of your financial transactions as well. And depending on the type of data security that is implemented, your security might also be jeopardized. Some of the irrelevant information that is related to your personal info can be shared out there in the internet without you not validating it or giving it out. Like these informations that are very, very vital. That's why I said it depends on the data security, how it is handled, and what and the kind of security used in that application. So your data, your information can be out there, and then it can also well, it's not 100%, but it can also minimize the job intakes for an organization, because some organizations, if someone is doing this being automated and it's already being automated, so what's the point of putting someone there and paying them every month? So it's either you move them to another thing or you actually let them go. So these are some of the disadvantages of fintech that it might have in the industry, but it's not all organizations, because as I said, the person must be needed to supervise or do anything on the corner there, around there. So yeah, I'm not trying to scare anybody like they lose their jobs or stuff if fintech is going to be 100% used or in the country. So these are the few disadvantages of using fintech though in a country.
Thank you very much for the assurance. I'm always glad to hear when you people say like we're not going to lose our jobs. Yeah, thank you very much for that. And we'll move to Malick. Malick, please, if you can.
Just to add to what I just said, right? Aside the hacking, the hacking risk of being hacked and your accounts compromised, we've seen a trend whereby, I don't know whether most of you on your emails, you just see some advertisements coming into your mailbox, a lot of them. So because fintechs, most of them collect data, they collect some personal information like your email address. So they'll be bugging you with advertisements. So you just open your emails, they'll be clogging it with adverts and all that. So that can be, a disadvantage on fintechs, and especially when you have, places where you don't have a strong data protection law or something like that. So people kind of use your data inappropriately. And also some disadvantage, I would say, is adoption rate, right? Even though fintech is not, a high costly business whereby you require a huge amount of money to set up and all that, though you would start up with, security, which can be expensive, but getting people to adapt to using your technology can be a challenge. For example, last week I was watching an interview at Fatou, and they were interviewing the CEO of Trust Bank, right? And she was saying that they've built digital channels, that's the ATMs and all that, but still people will come into the banking hall to queue just to withdraw money, which they could have done on the ATM. And when they asked them, why are you not using the ATM? They said, this is what we are used to, right? We're used to coming in, meeting, interacting with people. So there, you've done some heavy investment on that ATM and they're not utilizing it. So it can be painful. It can be a disadvantage on the fintechs. But yeah, like I just said, in terms of security and also the education aspect of it, when people are not aware of some of these technologies, right? You have scammers out there, they can easily, scam them and take their monies, and make their lives miserable. So fintech really needs to come along with some level of education, right? I heard you say about, crypto assets like Bitcoin. I'm sure to your surprise, right? I can tell you Gambians are actually aware of, some Gambians are aware of this and some are exploring, right? Like I said, I'm a Gambian, I like exploring things and I love these digital assets. I learn about them, I practice, and it's just amazing. I actually even educate people on these digital assets.
Salifu, I know you are on this call, so please, we may want to have Malick to come and educate us on this digital assets alone, because like, I also want to make money. So, like, I want to understand how people make money from this digital assets. Yeah. I understood you mentioned how banking halls are jam-packed. Like, this is not an advert for EcoBank, please. But like, whenever you go to EcoBank, you will see the crowd there. Like, you'll be asking yourself, why do we have agency banking? But believe me, my mboka, you and I, our mbokers, I'm a fuller today by choice. The fullers, they rather hold a big bag of money, come into the banking hall than to do an RTGS, which will save them from going to a banking hall and have a teller count the money. But because like they're so used to having the money, they see the money is counted, a teller punch something and give them a receipt. They don't even have the trust of the digital receipts that they will be given. So I think in the Gambia, we have a lot of sensitizations to do for people to trust this digital processing, because it's already a disadvantage to a lot of banks. These things are very expensive. You spend a lot of money to have an ATM. You spend a lot of money to have an agency banking. to have a POS terminal. So you go to a restaurant, you will see someone dipping into their pocket, struggling to gather money when you can just scan through and pay for your bills, or you can use a POS with your card. But we are so comfortable and so like used to using the, like counting that money. So when you don't even have cash on you, people will be laughing at you. You know, they are but I say, I don't need to hold money. Like the way we are going, I don't need to hold physical money for me to have my problem solved. Like, but go to a trade fair, you want to buy something in the Gambia. My brother, you will regret not having money on you. People say, mobile transfer. Like, I don't take mobile transfer because I don't trust it.
I can actually tell you a story regarding this thing that you just mentioned. Somebody told me that someone was selling a car and they did a transfer, you know, to the person's account. So the person wasn't really sure because he wasn't used to transfers. He was used to cash. He was even insisting, oh, pay me in cash, pay me in cash. So the guy said, the money is a lot. Why not I just do a transfer? Give me your account number. Even with the transfer and everything with the receipt, the guy did not release the car keys. He said he was going to take, he was going to wait for the next business day and then confirm. Sorry, that's my daughter.
Oh, so, Malick is a daddy.
Yeah, I'm actually married and with a beautiful daughter.
Oh, wow. Congrats.
I think I missed that in my introduction. Yeah, but like I was saying, the guy was not even comfortable with that transfer because he wanted to go to the bank and physically confirm that the money is in his account. So it comes back to people being aware of these things and trusting, you know, these technologies, right? It's not just, you know, a scam. When you talk about even some of these fintechs or some of these digital assets, people think it's a scam, right? For me personally, when I first heard about Bitcoin, I thought it was a scam, right? I said, all this digital thingy, all these tech guys, they will just create something online. And once you put your money there, they go with it. But once you review and learn more, you tend to benefit. Though there are risks, I won't lie, there are risks, but you need to be educated and learn how to track very well, especially in the digital space.
Okay, who will trade with care and also try to learn and understand. Like Salifu, please, we're appealing to you. We're at your mercy. Please create a session for us where we can understand and learn cryptos and every other digital asset. So Malick and Fatou, it has been a very interesting session. Personally, I've learned a lot and it was very interactive for me. Thank you very much for sharing your ideas. And thank you very much for making out time for us because we know it's a Saturday. It's a day that people may need to be with their family. I had a lot of calls, yeah boy. And now I've also seen daughter coming to daddy. We understand the relationship between daughters and daddies, but you have like created the special time for us. You have left all of those and like, thank you very much. So we will want to have question and answer sessions because it's like our inbox is full. I have seen a lot of questions. So I would like to just scroll through the questions to see the ones that maybe if we have dealt with some of the answers, we will say so. If not, we'll read it out. Okay, I've read someone saying that, is there any fintech or innovative events in the Gambia to help encourage people to learn and develop? So do we have any? Because I understand, Malick, you're not in the Gambia. The Nigerians are stealing our assets, you know. You should be back with us here to do.
Actually, like I said, we do some education activities, right, in terms of all these digital assets. I know even on FLF, we've actually done a presentation on digital assets. I think if you go to YouTube, we'll share the link. If you go to YouTube, we've done something on digital assets. So you can just learn on it. And also, I think people are getting more aware. And by the time you start building a community, maybe some of the things that the person is asking will start happening, whereby people will meet and educate each other and then, you know, develop each other.
Okay, so I have seen Musa Sen ask a question that this, like Central Bank of Nigeria have announced that the fintech is disrupting the banking industry. So like he said, he put as a layman, what was he referring to? If you can please, I think we have spoken about how fintechs are disrupting the financial sector, but maybe if you can like say one or two things to answer Musa Sen's question.
I saw the question. I think he's referring to a post that was done that the CBN governor was saying fintechs are actually disrupting the banking sector. And I think we've actually discussed some of these things because fintechs, you know, they actually adopt a lot of technology in terms of delivering financial solutions. So they're more efficient compared to traditional banks that are not heavily invested in technology, right? So they're more efficient and they do things smarter. And even now that with the advent of this blockchain, people are doing smart contracts, right? You can have an insurance company. Let's say a farmer has an insurance company on a smart contract. So a smart contract is actually a contract done on, you know, on a coding, and it's actually put on the blockchain. So what it means is, let's say the farmer goes into a contract with an insurance company and said, if Gambia doesn't rain, let's say in September, so the insurance company should pay me X amount, right? So if the technology will actually monitor, maybe let's say the Gambia weather team had a very good structure and technology and they post data. So the smart contract will check that data and see if Gambia has actually rained in September. If it didn't rain, it will automatically trigger that contract and pay the farmer. So all of those things are coming in the fintech space, whereby you don't need that human intervention. As humans, we tend to forget. We can even have a contract and forget about, oh, we've actually had a contract and actually we should trigger this manually. But with the fintechs and all the technology involved, all these things happen, within seconds. And it's so efficient that, it's disrupting banking services. And I've given an example on a fintech here in Nigeria where you can actually open an account without going to the branch. All you need is your mobile number and upload your ID, and then they open an account for you, and you can start transacting, sending money, receiving money, paying bills, and doing so many things, right? Let's say for traditional banks, maybe to open an account, you have to go to the bank, and when you get there, maybe there's a queue, long queue, you have to sit and wait, So all of those things are actually, fintechs are actually creating solutions to those things, not wasting your time. You can just do it at the comfort of your homes, So those are some of the disruptions that fintechs are actually doing, especially here in Nigeria, because fintech is big in Nigeria, right? They have a license for fintech. I'm not sure whether Gambia has a license for fintech, but in Nigeria and other parts of, Africa, like Kenya, even Senegal, I learned about a fintech in Senegal called Wave, right? Wave, and they're doing very well, right? So maybe we would like to see, someday to have a fintech, a proper fintech in Gambia where people can actually do banking services from the comfort of their homes.
I'm into that. That's a prayer. We are hopeful, very, very hopeful. So we have another question from Musa Sen. He's also asking of how, like, if fintechs are here to take our jobs, but we have understood Malick and Fatou has said that we need to try to stay relevant. We need to uplift our skills. So data are best built, or programs are best built when they are built by the person that understands, because you know what you're doing, you know what you want to achieve. So what the answer to that, I think, if I'm doing justice to that, is we need to do everything possible to stay relevant. We need to have understanding of how to build our own programs. Maybe we may not be up to Ajifatu's standards, but if we have a little ways of trying to come up with a program of what we do. So if we're trying to build those softwares, because we're the ones that are involved in the job, we're the ones that know the raw data, we're the ones that want know what we want as an end product. So it will be easy and it will be useful to stay us for us to stay relevant and for us to maintain our job. So Malick and Ajifatu, I think I have answered that question. If not, I still have you people to answer that.
Yeah, I think you've done justice. Maybe just to add on to what you've said, right? And perhaps maybe give an example. When we heard about the evolution of cryptocurrencies, right? Some countries were actually banning cryptocurrencies, but the countries like United States, UK, and other advanced countries, they didn't ban cryptocurrencies. What they're trying to do is actually regulate cryptocurrencies. And just a few weeks back, we've heard that the US actually fined one of the celebrities in the US for actually receiving payments in cryptocurrency without declaring it. And what that means is that's revenue for the government, because the government is actually imposing tax on those digital currency transactions. So if, let's say, you were in a country like ours and you're actually restricting the development of these technologies, you're actually shutting down opportunities. One, people can explore these technologies to actually create employment for themselves, right? And government can promote this, and that's additional money going into government coffers, because if you impose tax or you impose a good regulation around it, you start getting money, earning decent revenue on these technologies. So an answer to maybe Musa's question is, at a macro level, I think government should actually design a framework, and promote the use of this technology, like what US president actually directed, American agencies, that look, they should actually look at this digital currencies and try and build a framework and regulate it.
Fatou, do you want to add anything on to that?
No, I'm good.
All right, I think we have come to the end of the session, because if I'm right, I have gone through the question, something just popped up. I think I have gone through all the question. Technology is taking out traditional banking jobs, especially. Okay, someone is just lamenting on how technology is taking the banking industry. So we have, more or less, we have spoken about everything that is on the chat box. If I have leave anything out, Salifu, please, you can prompt me. Otherwise, I will say thank you very much once again to Fatou and Malick. Like, the take home for me is we have to stay relevant. We have to uplift our skills. Also, we need to also work on the disadvantages regarding the fintechs, because like our securities, we need to have them at the highest level. Our internet, which is something that, because we have seen Yajabu sang a very nice jingle for us when she was trying to speak, because of our internet quality. So that is something that we may have to definitely work on for us to be in this market. That will be all for me. And once again, we appreciate your time. Parfati, if Parfati is on the call, or Salifu, please, if you have anything to say before I call on Parfati to give us a closing remark.
Thank you very much, Fanta. Thank you very much, Malick and AFS, which stand for Ajifatu C. One thing that I think she remember is she forget to say that she's an entrepreneur as well. Whatever you want, not to market her, but she sells so many things aside from the software development and being the mother. So she sells so many things. Don't be surprised seeing her on the road selling some stuff. Unfortunately, Pa is unable to join us as well online to do the closing remarks, as we decided earlier. Again, to answer Pa Malick's question, we have a lot of fintechs now in the Gambia, considering QCell have what we call Q money. You have is it Afro money?
Sorry, Salifu, I'm struggling to hear. I'm not sure whether it's only me.
Really?
Yes, Salifu. The volume is very low, very, very low.
Can you?
It's very low, but maybe we can manage if you're struggling.
Can you hear me now? Hear me?
Yeah, maybe you might want to get closer to the phone or the microphone that you're using.
Wow, I'm using my phone, and unfortunately, I am in I am in Banjul, And what I was saying is we have fintech companies in the Gambia. You have the likes of Afro Money, you have the likes of Q Money, and then you have the likes of Wave in the Gambia. And I think there are other technology companies that are driving this industry as well. Just a couple of weeks ago, last week, there was a fintech symposium, I think organized by the GCCI, which is happening in the country as well. We are following that. And again, Fanta, regarding the question, Malik always hosts some programs on Twitter as well to educate people about cryptocurrency and other digital assets that are evolving or disrupting the finance space. I think this was definitely a very interesting discussion on what is happening within our industry, and it does not only affect the banking industry, even the oil and gas industry. The fintech is posing. Now you go to a petrol station, you don't need to even go with a card with some petrol station. All what you need to do is take your card, swipe, and then get your fuel. These are all processes that people are doing. Do their reconciliations online, bank reconciliations online. Systems are doing it. So I think that disruption, we have to accept it as finance professional, but we have to embrace it by uplifting our skills to stay relevant. There are a lot of things that we can do as humans that machines can do. So for us to stay relevant, I think we need to upskill ourselves and look at things that machines can do that human can do. Then we put our focus on that. To be honest, we'll try to have more dialogues on this. We have the likes of Malick, we have the likes of Fatou. There are many in the country. All what we need is just to create the platform for them to unleash what they have, to showcase what we have. On that note, I would like to acknowledge our president, Mr. Ibrahim Sawane, who is on the call. The vice president, Betty, is there. Mr. Musa Sen, we'll have to acknowledge you as well, member of the FLF. And we have all the FLF members who joined this platform, both ESCO and non-ESCO members. We thank you for joining the platform. And non-members, please join the platform. Our idea is, or our motive is, to network, learn, and share among peers. And this is what we need. You go to Nigeria, this is what people are doing. Ghana, this is what people are doing. Let's share the little knowledge that we have. Today, Malick is in Nigeria, sharing his experience and his knowledge. People can use his knowledge to develop Gambia. Fatou is in her corner doing great things. Nobody knows about this. It will obviously motivate someone out there. And this is what we want. Fanta is here doing a fantastic job. It was just a couple of weeks ago, Fanta come on host, and she's doing it. This is an other skill that she needs to learn, which is the PR, which is the public speaking, because she presents financial data that are being provided or generated by these fintechs or these finance systems that we are talking about. So please, let's try to join the platform. Let's embrace technology, and let's make the country great again. Thank you so much. And on that note, we bring the session to a closure, and we look forward to some more events on this space. Thank you so much. I know my internet is not very clear, but I hope you guys were able to get the message I was trying to put across. Thank you once again, Malick and Fatou, and kudos to you, Fanta. Job well done. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, then. See you.
See ya.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.